When he ran into the kitchen, he saw his mother lying on the floor covered in blood, her hands cut off beside her.
One day, Pete was given a starfish for his birthday. In fact, he had wished for a bicycle, but he wasn't too upset. There was an aquarium with fish in his room, and the new inhabitant was a wonderful decoration. Pavlik liked her bluish-black coloration. It moved slowly along the bottom of its new glass house and looked quite mesmerizing. He spent a lot of time watching her. Pete did well in school. Not in all subjects, of course, but he wasn't a bad student either. He had an inquisitive mind and logic. And as soon as he learned in class that starfish can grow a lost limb, he decided to experiment. A night lamp dimly illuminated his room, which he imagined to be his laboratory. On his desk he spread out a Kleenex and took a starfish from an aquarium. His hand clutched the handle of a broad kitchen knife. The tentacles of his favorite moved sluggishly. Pavlik cut off one of the rays with the laconic movement of a surgeon. What he saw did not shock him. Dumping the clam's limb into a garbage can, he let it swim back into the aquarium. What was his surprise when he found a brand new bicycle with a red gift bow in his room that morning. The whole family was very surprised where the gift could have come from. All day long Pete rode around in the yard bragging about his gift. When he returned home in the evening, he learned that his older sister had had her arm cut off because of an accident. His parents left with her to the hospital, and Pete returned to the aquarium. After pulling the test subject out, this time he armed himself with a small hammer. This was the hammer his mother used to hammer meat with. Once again placing the starfish on the table in front of him, Pete squeezed his eyes shut and wished for the latest model Apple phone. Swinging the hammer around, he shattered her second limb in anticipation. The sun in the morning shone dim and dull. But under his pillow he found what he had wished for the day before. Cheerfully pressing the phone to his cheek, Pete heard footsteps approaching. The door opened and a worried mother appeared on the threshold. "There has been an accident at my father's construction site," she said. "He fractured his leg. I'm going to the hospital. You will be alone," his mother warned him. Then she left in a hurry. When the front door slammed and the lock closed, Pete excitedly began pacing the room, pondering his desires. He was sure they would get better, and he didn't consider their arms and legs a big price to pay for their desires. But the sacrifice had to be justified. Pulling out the magic starfish, he decided to wish for a big beautiful new house. Running down to the basement where Daddy's tools were kept, he brought out a small hacksaw. Without delay, Pete made a wish and cut off the third ray. When he woke up the next day, he was surprised to find his mother healthy. She was making him breakfast in the kitchen. All her arms and legs were in place. Probably the wish is too big and one ray is not enough, the boy thought as he went back to his room. Just as he cut off the fourth limb of the starfish, the heartbreaking scream of his mother erupted from the kitchen. Pete was expecting a reward for the sacrifice he had made. And as he ran to see what had happened to her, the old floorboards under his feet turned into expensive parquet. The walls were covered with silky wallpaper with a gold sheen, and the rooms were filled with expensive furniture straight out of thin air. When he ran into the kitchen, he saw his mother lying on the floor covered in blood, her severed hands beside her. "We're going to be rich," shouted Pete, and with a smile he ran up to her. Mom asked to call the neighbors for help. When his mother was taken away to the hospital, too, and Pete was left to be his own master in the big, beautiful house, he decided not to go to school anymore. All day long he ate candy, played computer games, watched TV, and rode his bicycle around the yard. Lost in the days and weeks, Pete decided to go visit his family. After being with them for a while, he wanted to go back to his rich house. But when he left the hospital, he didn't find his bicycle. Sensing something wrong, Pete rushed to check his pockets. His new phone was also gone. With a frustrated sigh, he staggered home. The window of his room was dimly lit. Opening the old door with his old key, he returned to his room and walked over to the aquarium. At the bottom lay a starfish, which had returned all its rays, and had taken all its gifts back.
If you liked the story, please subscribe and like. Till tomorrow.